Greetings, back with another one. Today I want to talk about the many dummies of Chinese martial arts. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are aware that there are so many different, forms of, the Chinese side of the house. But when it comes to, the training methods and what they use, I would probably say in terms of the wooden dummy, I would say probably in Wing Chun, the wooden dummy is probably like the most known in that form of Chinese martial arts, but in other different styles, in the Chinese martial arts, there's also wooden dummies that are used in those arts as well. So I just wanted to, so I have this article here from Pong Lai Martial Arts .com, and there's an article it was written 2018 talking about the different variants of dummies. So I just wanted to read a little bit and just share this with you guys because I was aware that there were different different in terms of just the way they look and how you use them. I was aware of the many dummies of kung fu, but I wasn't I guess I wasn't in depth in how they were using stuff like that. So this article kind of just describe this. But like I said, I'm rambling as always, so I just wanted to go through this and share this with you guys because I thought it was pretty fascinating. Wooden dummies in Chinese martial arts. Training dummies that imitate the height, weight, and resistance of an opponent are a logical development for combat training in virtually all cultures. Can't read today. I'm flushed. I just ate. But, different types of this kind of training equipment was used all over the world since the ancient times. While many cultures simply lost and forgot their martial arts and training equipment that goes with them with the arrival of modern firearms and modern ways of fighting China for the most part preserved many of its old martial arts styles and exotic training devices. Wooden dummies are especially popular among Southern Kung Fu styles. Okay, Southern Kung Fu. Over time, a wide variety of wooden dummies were developed to suit the needs of each particular style. This article will be just a presentation of the variety of these training devices without deep explanation on their purposes and use. All right. Choli foot. Choli foot, from my knowledge, was a style that led with a lot of kicking, how to handle multiple opponents through kicks and stuff like that. I mean, I'm Bruce Lee actually dove into Choli foot. Like for example, when you see in his films, how he's leading with the kicks and stuff like that when he's surrounded by like multiple people and stuff like that. Choli foot kind of goes into that. But it says Choli foot is without any doubt the kung fu system with the widest range of wooden dummies, both to train empty hand and weapon techniques. Generally speaking, all these dummies share a number of common objectives to develop the student's skills, such as distance control, excuse me, and impact or precision. So distance control, leading with the kick, leading with the distance, and I knew that that was the reason why Bruce Lee really wanted to delve into Choli foot a little bit. I mean, he started in Wing Chun, but Wing Chun was really targeting most like the short range strikes. Choli foot was like creating space, and so he really went to delve into that. And you actually see demonstrating that in his films a lot, leading with the kicks. In addition, each of these dummies help the students to sharpen their striking pressure areas, and they improve different types of skills from the most basic ones to the more advanced abilities, the internal and external fighting systems and their combination. Chong Bao Zhong, the wall bag. Now I have a bag like this. I believe the Japanese call it a makiwaki. I mean that was the name to one of my grandmasters. He told me a makiwaki pad or something like that. That's what he call them. But in Chinese is a Chong Bao Zhong, the wall bag. Strengthens all parts of the hand you use to hit, fist, palm, and fingers. It also teaches how to use the arm that is not hitting the wall, generate and transmit impact strength into the hand or fist which it hits. Now, generally, you fill those bags with like, you can fill them with sand. Some people fill them with like small pebbles and stuff like that. or like rice or beans or something like that. And I actually filled mine with beans. So when you work it, with the constant strikes, you can actually, grind the beans up the more you strike it, and it kind of develops like callus, the strength in the hands and stuff like that. So that's where that's kind of from. What I do with that. Ching balance dummy. This dummy, apart from strengthening hands and fists, it also strengthens the forearms and teaches to intercept or block with the arm and to place it in a suitable position so as to provide a good protection. Sometimes the arm can hit and block simultaneously. Now, obviously, in kung fu, like a lot of the methods are going to be similar with kung fu. The Chinese, they like my grandmaster used to tell me like the Chinese fight in circles. Starting from the shoulder into the elbow and to the wrist. So it's a circular movement. So you'll constantly see that in a lot of the Chinese arts. It's very flowy, as apart from the Japanese stuff. It's very flowy. So when they say intercept or block with the arm and place it to the suitable position, they basically talk about the trapping. You trap and you capture it, then you strike, but you do it simultaneously in one. Multiple motions, a part of one motion, and that dummy kind of looks similar to what they use in Wing Chun, except it's kind of reverse. The one at the top usually would be the one at the bottom, and then you'll have the two at the bottom usually be at the top, and then one at the bottom and the one at the top is pointed upward. So that's kind of different. That's really different. Sabojong, the sandbag dummy. Unlike the jongs mentioned above, with are fixed dummies, this is movable. This makes the student move according to the movements of the dummy so as to keep the most suitable distance to hit the opponent for the strongest force. With the strongest force, there is a difference in hitting something static to hitting something that is constantly moving in different directions and at different paces. So yeah, they got so they have multiple bags. So it kind of resembles like the boxing a little bit. When you're striking the bag, but the bag isn't stationary; it's moving. So it like just like you said, it's different when you hit something static as opposed to hitting something that's moving. So that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, think about this. I mean, this is thousands of years. Probably like 5,000 years of Chinese history and training methods of just doing all this stuff. So it's crazy how they were able to develop this stuff and just revolutionize how striking and look where we are today. It's just incredible. Samsung Sao Bojong, three bag dummies. So I guess that's what they're explaining up here. It shares the same goals and principles as Sabonjong, but adding the difficulty of having three bags instead of one. This is like fighting with three opponents at the same time. Soisujong breaking hand dummy. This tool has the same objective as the previous dummy, as well as the purpose of helping the student to get faster and hitting the right time. Okay, that one looks. Uh, mm, I wonder. I wonder like how tall those things are. Because they're very low, so I'm guessing it's like for the kicks and for the low stuff. Because like I said, you see the little cross bars at the top. Those like I guess where you strike, and then for the bags, it looked like for kicks and stuff like that with the low striking. That looks cool. Monjong. Unique to this dummy is a heavy spring loaded horizontal log shaped in the form of a horse. The log is mounted on wheels and springs in such a way that when pushed back, the horse charges forward, forcing the practitioner to defend and control the dummy. Wow. Power and a flexible horse stance are used to avoid redirect the energy generated by the heavy log. So the horse stance. Now, see now I'm more familiar with the horse stance, the kipadachi, and the Japanese side of the house. But it's basically the same way when you kind of like squat in like kind of like in a squat position, and it's basically how you stand. I mean, like I said, karate came from kung fu, so like when you see the horse stance, it's pretty much similar in Japanese and Chinese. It's very very similar. But where was I? The use of two interlocking spinning arms also requires a quick eye together with the fast and accurate hands to hit the targets between the rotation of the arms. The dummy is designed to train a combination of speed, accuracy, and power. Palm blossom, small blossom, wooden dummies. Yeah, that one looks crazy. Like look at that. I mean, I guess those. I wonder. I wonder. Do those things spin? Do they move, or do you have to strike? Just based on how the position do you strike? So that's crazy. Yeah, yeah. So all right. So to use the interlocking spinning arm, so they do spin, which is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, the palm blossom wooden dummy. Yeah, very very cool. And another small blossom one. The rice bag dummy. Rarely seen training equipment. Ocholi foot. So Ocholi foot originally used this too. And there's a Sifu Hong Gao using the rice bag dummy there. The Tri-Star dummy. There are two variants of this training tool. One is used for empty hand techniques, while the other, knife fighting. Yeah, so all of those things, all of those little mechanisms, they spin. And it's, like, yeah, so I get, when you see those little spinning things, I guess those is really based on speed and accuracy, just like it said. But yeah, that's the knife Tri-Star. Then you have the empty hand one. So you got the weaponry, you got the empty hand one. Spring dummy is a wooden trunk with a spring that connects the base of the dummy with the floor. Was a typo there. Purpose of this dummy is to provide reacting force to the punches and kicks. Now I've seen, the spring one. I've seen it before, but I've never seen it actually being used. But yeah, provide reacting force to the punches. So like picture that. See, like I said, because it's attached to a spring at the bottom. So I mean, I don't know if anyone knows what a weeble wobble is. The weeble wobble thing is like that we used to punch when we were kids. You punch that thing, and it was like just this inflatable thing. You punch it or hit it, it goes down and it just comes back up. So that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting like a weeble wobble type of thing. So like because it's on the base is a spring. So when you strike it, it recoils and it comes back and you just strike it again. So that's what I'm getting from the spring dummy. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I've seen one before, but I've never actually seen anybody use it. Another example of the CLF dummy. Those look like the rice bags. I know Wing Chun. No, this is probably the most famous one, the most popular one. The Wing Chun dummy is another type, or probably the best known variant of these kind of training equipment due to the planetary popularity of the style itself. Wooden dummy has very interesting history in Wing Chun style. Interesting in the sense that no one knows who and when introduced this training tool to the style. Common belief is that the wooden dummy came from the red boats that were either mechanical part of the boat or they were training tools from opera students. But some independent historical research about red boats and history of the opera house didn't mention wooden dummy anywhere. In any context, we don't know whether or not Leong used wooden dummy, and if he did, how did he use it? Was he the one that first used the wooden dummy in his training, or maybe some of his students? Same goes for Chanhua Shon in later generations. First complete wooden dummy set in a way we know wooden dummies sets today was created by Yongkai Son. Yeah, like I said, yeah. So the first version of the dummies were a type of dummy called Daojong ground dummies. Yeah, like I said, Wing Chun, man, like the Daojong, yeah, that is the most popular one. I mean, even with the Ip Man films with Donnie Yen, he was a Wing Chun practitioner in that feature. So, and that's what he was using. He was in the Daojong. Yeah, that is the most popular one, the most well known one for sure. And then there, of course, there he is, the man himself, Yaman, training the wall mounted one. Yemen, due to the lack of space in Hong Kong, invented, or some say stole. Like, there's a lot of typos in this article. Some say stole the idea from a Didact Long training hall, a wooden mountain dummy. It's got to come from somewhere. And of course, Ibn, who was the man who taught Bruce Lee. Bruce went to him when he was like 13 years old, and Ibn, taught him about philosophy and all that stuff. Like, all of that stuff, really comes from your mind. Everything that he learned about martial arts came from him. And then of course, Bruce, he grew and expanded and became his own practitioner at that point. But that's where it started. Like, I mean, just like Goro Inosanto said, without your mind, you would never have a Bruce Lee. And there's Master Yaman just training with the wooden dummy. Bamboo dummy is especially sporadically in a few Wing Chun styles. Yeah, I've seen that one too. It is very different from the wooden dummy. It has elastic hands, and some even call it chi sao. Yeah, see, chi sao. That is a technique. That is a technique in Wing Chun. When you see, the hands, like the movements where saying all of this, the movements, they got the chi sao, the lob sao, and stuff like that. All of those techniques that you see in Wing Chun. Yeah, chi sao without touching. Yeah, I've seen that one. That one's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely remember that one, which enables training of variety of situations and techniques. Main purpose of this training device is to develop trapping skills and enhance chi sao reflexes and control of the opponent's arms. That's a big thing in Wing Chun. Wing Chun is the trapping, the captures, the short range punching and the low kicks and stuff like that. Wing Chun is very, very known for that. The tripodal dummy, or Gorkjong, is a training tool introduced to Wing Chun by Leong Ting. It is unknown where did he, like I said, it looks like it just looks like he just took the tabletop off and just said, the hell with it, I'm gonna do this. But where he get the idea for this training device, Gurkjong is made of 3 wooden pillars half buried into the ground in a triangular shape 1 meter apart. It is used for training kicks and leg blocks. Yeah, man, that's the simpler the better, man. Like I said, it just looked like he just took the tape, like, cause like, so back then, I mean, they probably had like pillars, cause everything was probably made like out of wood back in those days. I mean, this is thousands of years of people doing this stuff. So, I mean, they probably just took the wooden tabletop off and just started doing that. It's crazy. Some styles of Wing Chun develop over time. They're specific and pretty unique wooden dummies. We have the Vietnamese Wing Chun dummy. The base is a lot thicker. I didn't even know Wing Chun had their own sect of Wing Chun. I didn't know that. You got the Chow Gar dummy. Pretty similar. And you got the Wing with the E, Wing Chun pole dummy. And those, extended. So like this one probably focuses. I mean, long pole dummy. Wow. So the Wing Chun style with the E, which is a mixture of Wing Chun and Hong Kong share wooden dummy and other equipment with Wing Chun. One unique training device found in Wing Chun with an E is long pole dummy, used as the name says for practicing long pole techniques. I wonder, like, are you? I wonder, like, are you striking from a distance and then you work your way to the board at the back? Like, how do you use that one? That's crazy. The white eyebrow. Some white eyebrow school use wooden dummy pretty similar to Wing Chun, except it has 2 legs. The Jiao Ga. Yeah, so the 2 legs. See, I like what the Chinese did with this stuff when they they resemble these dummies kind of with the human anatomy. It seems, you got the arms that extend, and then you got the legs at the bottom, and then you have the body. And, well, the entire everything is the body. But I kind of like how they did stuff like this. Using the human anatomy and just the geometry of our bodies and trying to apply it, with the training method. just in case if you don't have somebody to train with, you can, do stuff like this. I mean, it's just incredible how they were able to come up with this stuff. This is the Biomade wooden dummy. Jauga. Jauga, or southern praying mantis style, has a wooden dummy developed for the style specific requirements. So even the mantis style got a dummy. And that just looks like a long pole. I mean, are the pads connected? Oh, I see. All right, yeah. It's in the middle. So you got the two pillars holding it up, and then you got the bags in the back. All right, I see it. Another type of chow guard dummy. See like the bottom pictures right there. He's kind of in the horse stance, and then he's getting lower. Pretty cool. Golden Dragon. R.W. Smith, one of the first Westerners who studied various forms of Chinese boxing in Taiwan in the 1960s, noted the use of the dummies in various styles and provided information about that in his books. That's it. That looked like a pole that just has like a bunch of, like how you see in the movies, you see that one pole and it has all the different wooden signs going in every different direction. This way here. That's what that kind of looks like. But I like how I guess his idea was kind of like more of like a 3D space. Like you're working your way around the dummy instead of just, standing in front of it. It looks like you can like move around it. That's what it looks like. This is a photograph of Tong Ching Sun, aka the Golden Dragon, from southern Taiwan in 1961. Tong claimed a great martial heritage, having studied at Wudong, the Shaolin Temple in Henan, and the Southern Shaolin Temple in Fujian. That's the southern region, the southern province in China is right across Taiwan. And in fact, many people who live in Taiwan, from an ancestral standpoint, most of them came from the Fujian province in China. It's like right across mainland China, Taiwan, Fujian. Given that scholars are now agreed that this last school never actually existed, one must also doubt his other credentials. What was true that Tong had a number of followers in the Black Dragon organization crime society. He had also been in prison because of his own membership in the group. Wow. we was a triad or something. Shaolin style from Fujian. In his book Chinese Boxing Masters and Methods, Robert W. Smith described an event. Described an event when he was introduced to the Wuku side in Tainan. Wu studied in Yongzhong County. Smith states that his style was simply Shaolin. That just looked like a log with just one branch coming out of it. But like I said, you can make it work, man. You can, like I said, you could just do anything. Honestly, you could be so creative and just make sure that it's practical and you can actually apply it, man. But like I said, just let your imagination go wild, man. Wu was a believer in the importance of physical conditioning. His students, who were all family members, practiced strikes on the post picture, which was above, I guess. He does not appear that Wu had a dedicated dummy form, at least not the one he shared with Smith. All right. White crane, one of the animal forms. Vast majority of white crane styles do not use any kind of dummy. Few styles use exactly the same wooden dummy as in Wing Chun. It remains unclear which art first developed this particular kind of wooden dummy. Some styles use wooden dummy that is basically same shaped as Wing Chun. The only difference is the distance between the arms, which is a bit larger in white crane. So yeah, so that's kind of like similar to the Wing Chun dummy. But they said like they said, it's a bit wider, a bit larger, yeah. Like the Vietnamese Wing Chun, like the base of that joint was thick. That joint was huge. Some white crane developed unique wooden dummies according to their fighting principles and training requirements. Yeah, yeah. See, like the bars are like a lot longer, and then you got another way. See, I like those. See, I like how they're building them. How like they're building as if you could work your way around them in the 3 dimensional space instead of just standing in front of it. I like those. Those are the ones I prefer when you just go around. It's pretty sweet how they developed that one. That one to me could be like it's probably the most practical one because cause like I said, in a confrontation, we're 3 dimensional, so it's going to be 3 dimensional space no matter how you slice it. So you're not going to just be, in a 2 dimensional frame, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I like how they develop some of these dummies that where you can work your way around them. That's pretty cool. Mokgar. Mokgar is hmm, Mokgar. Mokgar is one of the famous 5 family styles from Guangdong. Guangdong, right? Yeah, see, like I said in the beginning, a lot of this stuff was developed in the southern provinces. Guangdong is in the south too. It's I believe it's right. I believe it's right beside Shenzhen or Fujian, and Guangdong borders Hong Kong. Yeah, so it's all in the south. This style uses very simple form of wooden dummy. It is actually a wooden pillar without any attachments. It is used for training kicks and conditioning the arms. Yeah, that's just straight up. That's just straight up with wood or bamboo, and you just striking it. Like I said, that's all. That looks all conditional right there. Black Tiger. Shaolin Black Tiger is a rare form of Southern Chinese Kung Fu that traces its roots to the Southern Shaolin monastery. Style uses an interesting form of wooden dummy, which head can be adjusted according to the height of the practitioner. That's cool. That's cool. This dummy is made of stone and has metal arms and legs. That's another one. Either like I said, either you can strike it and spin it, and or you just work your way around it. But I like that. But I like how you can adjust the head, just in case, I don't know, just in case like a child is using it or something like that. So yeah, they're very considerate of that one. Based because they're trying to specify based on the height of the practitioner, which is pretty cool. Black Tiger Sifu Wong Chong was movie advisor for Hong Kong action movies and influenced fight choreographies for many years. He also appeared in one of the Shaw Brothers classics. Hmm, that's cool. Cool. Bagua. Bagua. Bagua is one of the most famous soft styles practiced today. In Bagua style, there are several different dummies. The simplest one is just a dummy pillar half buried into the ground. Next variation is a simple variant with 2 hands to the practice kicks and punches. There is a variant of the same dummy with 4 hands, and the last variant is 4 hand dummies that can move around central axis. See, another one. Like I said, a lot of these dummies are very similar, but it's just some of the methods are very different, which is pretty cool. Cho Mak Pai. The 5 most common styles in the Southern Shaolin are Hong, Lu, Zhou, Li, and Mok, named after the 5 great masters that taught in the South. Jiao Mok Pai takes its name from two of them, but it has also been influenced and contains elements from all these styles as well as a few others that the founder of the system had learned. There are 2 different kinds of wooden dummy in the system. They are just slightly different. First wooden dummy for the system is pretty much the same shape and the size as a Wing Chun dummy, but it has only 2 upper hands. Yeah, it doesn't have the low. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, man, pretty cool. The second wooden dummy of the style is almost identical to the first version with only one difference. It has 3 arms, all mounted as close as possible. Yeah, so it's like this. They're all just, yeah. Like I said, unless you get deep into these styles, a lot of it will be confusing until you get into it, because different, Chinese styles, based on, the striking and how you stand and how you position yourself, a lot of that, a lot of it's very intricate based on what style you tend to go into. Hung guard. Now, okay, hung guard is hung guard is probably one of the strongest, hard hitting styles in kung fu, at least in my opinion. Hung guard is very, very strong. Hung guard is a style with probably the largest number of odd wooden dummies after Choli foot. Some wooden dummies are adopted from other systems like Choli foot and Wing Chun, while others are originally built from Hung guard. Wooden dummies in this system have great variation in size and complexity. Dummies range from simple bamboo poles to elaborate mechanical contraption with a lot of moving parts. Yeah, Hung guard is like very hard. I forget that famous practitioner, Hung guard guy. He put in a lot of films in the the 80s, 70s, like that Hong Kong bust in the 70s, 80s. I remember that same Hung guard practitioner. I can't remember his name, but he had to like, Hung guard is just, just very, very hard, And then he uses like he puts like the rings. He puts the rings on his wrist to strengthen up the arms and stuff like that. Kind of like how Fong Wei in Tekken, how he uses like they use those rings in Hung guard predominantly. Like Hung guard is like the main style that I see them use those little wrist rings that they use. Plum Blossom, the Iron Dummy, is a mechanical training device from Taiwan, used in some local Honkyo schools. It is an apparatus associated with a system known as Shaolin 18 Bronzeman method, and that looks like another one where you can move around. Yeah, kind of similar to the other ones. Yeah, man. But like I said, I just wanted to just go in this with you guys because I thought this was pretty cool, man. Just to see all these different variations of I guess I'll put it on in mind. Yeah, I just had to share this, man, because if you've been watching my if you've been watching this my channel for quite some time, I'm very, very deep into like martial arts and martial science and stuff like that. I just love learning about this stuff. I mean, you just learn something new every day, man. Just so many different styles and so many different methods, so many different you know perspectives and stuff, and how you look at it and how you see it and what do you want out of it. But yeah, man, like I said, China, like the Chinese side of our house was like my first love, my first introduction to martial arts as a whole. I grew up watching all of the Bruce Lee films and all of the the ancient Chinese the ancient period pieces that took place during the dynasty days. Like obviously all of those films were shot in Hong Kong, for obvious reasons. But yeah, a lot of those films that took place during the days of the dynasty, stuff like that. So I used to love watching all those films, and just to see all the different styles and all the different techniques, and just I mean it's very beautiful, like how the Chinese came up with this stuff, and just let their imaginations go wild, and a lot of them probably developed systems and methods based on their physical stature and what worked for them. The whole flowing like water and stuff. Like Bruce Lee didn't invent that philosophy. Not to say he made it mainstream, but the Chinese man flowing like water and being like water and stuff like that. That was the constant goal for every Chinaman, to be real fluid, and that's why you see kung fu very, very fluid the way that it is, because they're kind of resembling the element of water and stuff like that, constantly moving stuff like that. So Bruce Lee, he wasn't the first to start it, but he made it mainstream and made it more specific and concise, stuff like that. So yeah, man, I mean, just he was my introduction to it, and learning about your mind and all of the the great masters and stuff like that through Chinese history and throughout the dynasties and stuff like that. It's just amazing, man. So like I said, I just I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to share this with you guys, and hopefully that anybody who's so enthusiastic about the art as much as I am can look at this and just be as blown away by it as much as I am. But yeah, guys, man, another one for the archives. 31 cents at it. It's your brother Bleak signing out. Until next time, you guys. Us.